What if an old dollar coin you've ignored for years is actually one of the most fascinating collectibles in American history? Today, we are uncovering the hidden stories behind legendary Eisenhower dollars, exploring the rare varieties, genuine mint eras, historic designs, and the surprising details that collectors never stop talking about. From overlooked treasures to the coins that have captured headlines at major auctions, every detail matters, and one small discovery could completely change the way you look at your collection. Stay with Ari Coins News until the very end, because the most exciting collector secrets are still to come. If you're passionate about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the latest coin news, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community of collectors. Let's start right now. First up, the moment you hold a 1976 Eisenhower Bicentennial $1 in your hand, you're holding far more than an ordinary piece of pocket change. At first glance, many people see only a large dollar coin with an unusual double date, but experienced collectors immediately recognize that this coin represents one of the biggest celebrations in American history. The dual date, 1976 was created to honor the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, making it unlike regular Eisenhower dollars. Millions were produced, yet within this enormous production are coins that stand apart because of exceptional condition, silver composition, rare mint eras, and collectible varieties. That is why collectors continue searching through old collections, inherited coin jars, and forgotten bank boxes, hoping to discover an overlooked treasure. The excitement surrounding this coin isn't built on myths or exaggerated promises. It's built on history, rarity in specific forms, and the fascinating stories hidden inside different examples. Today, we are uncovering every important detail about this iconic bicentennial dollar, revealing why some pieces remain common while others command impressive premiums in the collector market. To understand why this dollar exists, we have to travel back to the early 1970s, when the United States was preparing to celebrate 200 years of independence. Rather than limiting the bicentennial celebration to fireworks and parades, Congress authorized special commemorative designs for several circulating coins. The quarter, half dollar, and Eisenhower dollar all received unique reverse designs while keeping George Washington, John F. Kennedy, and Dwight D. Eisenhower on their respective obverses. For the dollar, artist Dennis R. Williams created one of the most memorable reverse designs ever placed on a U.S. circulating coin. Instead of the familiar Apollo 11 eagle that appeared on regular Eisenhower dollars, the reverse featured the Liberty Bell placed dramatically in front of the moon, symbolizing the nation's revolutionary beginnings and its achievements in space exploration. This combination united two defining moments of American history, the birth of the nation in 1776 and humanity's arrival on the moon nearly 2 centuries later. The powerful symbolism is one reason this coin continues to attract collectors decades after it left the mint. One feature that immediately captures attention is the unusual 1976 dual date. Unlike standard U.S. coins that display only a single year, every bicentennial Eisenhower dollar carries both dates to commemorate the nation's 200th birthday. No Eisenhower dollars dated 1975 were issued for circulation because production shifted directly to the dual-dated bicentennial design. This means that every dollar intended for circulation during that transition bears the special commemorative date instead. For new collectors, this often creates confusion, leading some to believe the coin is extremely rare simply because they cannot find a 1975 version. In reality, the absence of a 1975 circulation issue is intentional and forms an important chapter in the series' history. Understanding this detail helps collectors distinguish genuine historical significance from internet myths, while also appreciating the thoughtful planning behind one of America's most recognizable commemorative coin programs. The bicentennial Eisenhower dollar was struck at multiple United States mint facilities, and identifying the mint is one of the first steps in evaluating any example. Coins without a mint mark were struck at Philadelphia. Those with a D originated from the Denver Mint, and coins carrying the S Mint mark came from San Francisco. While Philadelphia and Denver primarily produced copper-nickel-clad circulation coins, San Francisco also struck collector versions, including beautiful proof coins and special uncirculated pieces made from 40% silver. These silver issues were never intended for everyday circulation and were sold directly to collectors in government packaging. Today, original packaging, untouched surfaces, and official mint presentation can significantly influence collector demand. Although millions of bicentennial dollars exist, pristine examples preserved exactly as issued have become increasingly desirable because so many circulating coins accumulated scratches, contact marks, and wear over decades of use. This difference in preservation often determines whether a coin is worth only face value or becomes a sought-after collectible. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of the bicentennial Eisenhower dollar is the possibility of discovering a genuine mint era or an unusually well-preserved specimen. While ordinary circulation examples remain common, authentic mint eras can transform an otherwise typical coin into something far more desirable. Collectors actively search for dramatic off-center strikes, broad strikes created without the restraining collar, clipped planchets, strike-through errors caused by foreign material inside the press, and occasional double design elements resulting from die production issues. Each genuine error tells the story of a brief mechanical mistake during the minting process, making every example unique. At the same time, condition plays an equally important role. Coins displaying blazing original luster, crisp details, and minimal contact marks often receive high mint state grades from professional grading services, and these superior grades can dramatically increase collector interest compared with heavily circulated pieces. Understanding the difference between a legitimate mint era, post-mint damage, and an exceptionally preserved coin is one of the most valuable skills any serious collector can develop, and it is often the key to recognizing hidden value where others see only an ordinary dollar. One of the biggest misconceptions surrounding the 1976 Eisenhower bicentennial dollar is that every example contains silver. In reality, the majority of these coins found in circulation were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition. While a separate group of collector editions produced at the San Francisco Mint contained 40% silver, at first glance, the two versions can appear remarkably similar, which is why many collectors mistakenly overlook silver examples or assume every coin is precious metal content. The silver issues were sold directly by the U.S. Mint in special collector packaging rather than being released for everyday spending. Over the years, many of those original packages were opened, misplaced, or damaged, making complete original sets increasingly desirable to collectors. Although silver bicentennial dollars are generally more valuable than their clad counterparts, rarity is determined by far more than metal alone. Surface quality, eye appeal, originality, and certified grade all combine to influence collector demand. A beautifully preserved silver specimen with untouched mint luster can attract significantly stronger interest than an average circulated example, reminding collectors that preservation often matters just as much as composition. When discussing values, it is important to separate everyday circulation coins from exceptional collectible pieces. Most circulated bicentennial Eisenhower dollars remain readily available because millions were struck, meaning worn examples usually trade close to their face value or for only a modest premium. However, the story changes dramatically when a coin survives in outstanding mint state condition or receives a high grade from respected third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Coins certified at the very top of the grading scale are genuinely scarce because large Eisenhower dollars easily picked up contact marks during production, transportation, and storage. As a result, examples displaying nearly flawless surfaces, brilliant original luster, and razor-sharp strike quality become increasingly difficult to locate. Collectors competing for these elite condition coins have pushed auction prices far beyond what ordinary examples achieve. Rather than assuming every bicentennial dollar is valuable, experienced numismatists carefully evaluate condition first, knowing that a single point difference on the grading scale can have a remarkable impact on market value. Another fascinating chapter in the bicentennial dollar story involves genuine mint errors and die varieties. Every coin begins life as a blank planchet before passing through powerful coining presses, and even within the precision of the United States Mint, occasional mistakes occur. A coin struck slightly off-center may show part of the design missing while still displaying a readable date. Broad-struck examples appear wider than normal because they were struck outside the retaining collar. Clipped planchets originate from improperly punched metal blanks, leaving a distinctive missing section along the edge. Strike-through errors occur when grease or another foreign substance briefly interferes with the striking process, producing unusual missing design elements. In addition, certain double die varieties display extra thickness or separation in portions of the lettering or design due to imperfections created during die manufacturing. Genuine errors are studied carefully by specialists because each one reflects a specific stage of the minting process. Their rarity depends on the nature of the mistake, the visibility of the error, and whether the coin has remained unaltered since leaving the mint. As interest in rare coins has grown worldwide, so too has the importance of authentication. The bicentennial Eisenhower dollar has inspired countless online claims suggesting that every unusual-looking coin is worth a fortune, yet experienced collectors know that careful verification is essential. Professional grading services evaluate authenticity, assign standardized grades, identify recognized mint errors, and encapsulate coins in tamper-evident holders that provide confidence to both buyers and sellers. Certification also helps distinguish legitimate mint-made errors from damage caused after the coin entered circulation, such as dents, scratches, filing, polishing, or heat exposure. Collectors should also remember that cleaning a coin, even with good intentions, can permanently reduce its desirability because original surfaces are highly prized. A naturally toned coin with undisturbed luster often attracts stronger collector interest than a brightly polished example whose originality has been lost. Patience, careful examination, and professional authentication remain some of the most valuable tools in modern coin collecting. What keeps the 1976 Eisenhower dollar in the spotlight decade after decade is its remarkable balance of history, accessibility, and the possibility of extraordinary discoveries. It represents America's bicentennial celebration, honors President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and showcases one of the most symbolic reverse designs ever placed on a circulating U.S. coin. While the majority of examples remain affordable entry points for beginning collectors, the finest certified specimens, rare mint errors, and well-preserved silver editions continue to generate excitement whenever they appear at major auctions or in advanced collections. Every inherited coin album, estate collection, or forgotten storage box has the potential to contain a surprisingly desirable example waiting to be recognized. That possibility fuels the enthusiasm of collectors around the world, proving that knowledge, observation, and patience are often far more valuable than luck alone. For many enthusiasts, the thrill lies not only in discovering a valuable coin, but also in preserving an important piece of American history for future generations. Coin number 2 stops scrolling, because the coin you are about to discover changed the history of modern American coinage forever. Hidden inside old collections, forgotten piggy banks, family inheritances, and even neglected storage boxes, the 1972 Eisenhower $1 has become one of the most talked-about large U.S. coins among collectors. At first glance, it may appear to be an ordinary dollar featuring President Dwight D. Eisenhower on the front and a majestic eagle landing on the moon on the reverse. However, experienced numismatists know that this remarkable coin carries far more than face value. It represents the return of the large dollar to American circulation after decades of absence. While most examples are common, certain high-grade specimens, special silver issues, and authentic mint errors have become highly desirable in today's collector market. The excitement surrounding this coin comes from its fascinating history, unique design, and the possibility of finding an overlooked collectible that many people mistake for ordinary pocket change. Before you spend or ignore one of these impressive dollar coins, let's uncover the remarkable story behind one of America's most iconic modern coins. The story of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar begins with the passing of President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1969. As a five-star general during World War II and the 34th President of the United States, Eisenhower left an enduring legacy of leadership, stability, and public service. Around the same time, America celebrated another historic achievement, the Apollo 11 moon landing. To honor both milestones, Congress authorized a new dollar coin that would pay tribute to Eisenhower while also commemorating one of humanity's greatest technological accomplishments. It was the first circulating US dollar coin struck since the Peace Dollar series ended in 1935, ending a gap of more than 3 decades. When it entered production in 1972, the Eisenhower dollar immediately stood out because of its impressive size and bold appearance, making it one of the most recognizable coins of the 20th century. The obverse of the coin features a detailed portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower facing left, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo. Above the portrait appears the word Liberty, while In God We Trust is placed to the left of Eisenhower's neck, and the date 1972 appears below. The reverse is equally significant, displaying a powerful eagle descending toward the lunar surface while clutching an olive branch, with Earth visible in the distance. This design was inspired by the official Apollo 11 mission insignia, symbolizing not only peace, but also America's achievement in landing astronauts on the moon. Around the edge are the inscriptions United States of America, EPLUBUSUNUM, and $1. Every element of the design was carefully chosen to celebrate both national leadership and scientific progress, making this coin unlike any dollar that came before it. Although millions of 1972 Eisenhower dollars were produced, collectors quickly learned that not every example is the same. Philadelphia struck coins without a mint mark, Denver produced coins carrying the D mint mark, and San Francisco struck special collector editions marked with an S. The Philadelphia and Denver coins intended for circulation were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, while many San Francisco collector issues contained 40% silver and were sold directly by the U.S. Mint rather than released into everyday circulation. This distinction is important because many people assume every Eisenhower dollar contains silver, which is not the case. Identifying the mint mark, composition, and original finish is one of the first steps in determining whether a coin is an ordinary circulation piece or a more desirable collector issue. The true excitement begins when collectors search for exceptional examples and genuine mint-made errors. During the striking process, the powerful coining presses occasionally produced mistakes that escaped into the marketplace. Authentic off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-through errors, and certain recognized double-die varieties are among the mint errors that specialists actively seek. These errors are uncommon because the mint's quality control process removed most defective coins before they entered circulation. Equally important is the coin's condition. A heavily worn Eisenhower dollar may have only modest collector value, while an example displaying original mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks can become far more desirable, especially if it receives a high mint state grade from a respected grading service such as PCGS or NGC. For experienced collectors, understanding the difference between genuine mint errors and ordinary post-mint damage is one of the most valuable skills in numismatics, because careful knowledge often uncovers opportunities that casual observers overlook. As the 1972 Eisenhower dollar entered circulation, it quickly became one of the largest and heaviest coins most Americans had handled in decades. Its impressive size made it instantly recognizable, yet that same size also caused many people to leave it in drawers instead of carrying it in their pockets. Over time, countless examples accumulated scratches, rim marks, and signs of circulation simply because the coin was bulky and frequently knocked against other coins. For collectors today, this history creates an interesting challenge. While finding an ordinary 1972 Eisenhower dollar is relatively easy, locating one with blazing original mint luster, sharp strike quality, and virtually untouched surfaces is far more difficult. These exceptional survivors represent only a tiny fraction of the original production and are the coins that experienced collectors eagerly pursue. The difference between an average circulated example and a superb mint state specimen can be dramatic, making condition one of the most important factors in determining collector appeal. One of the first questions every collector asks is whether a 1972 Eisenhower dollar contains silver. The answer depends entirely on where and how the coin was produced. Coins struck for general circulation at the Philadelphia and Denver mints were made from a copper-nickel clad composition and contain no silver. However, the San Francisco Mint produced special collector editions containing 40% silver, which were sold directly by the United States Mint rather than released into everyday commerce. These silver issues are especially popular because they combine historical importance with precious metal content. Collectors often examine the coin's mint mark, edge, weight, and original government packaging to help identify these special editions, while silver alone does not guarantee extraordinary value. A well-preserved silver example in high grade can command significantly stronger collector interest than an ordinary circulated clad coin. Among the most exciting discoveries are genuine mint-made errors. During production, a small number of coins left the mint, with unusual characteristics created during the striking process. Collectors search for authentic off-center strikes that leave part of the design missing, clipped planchets with a curved section absent from the edge, broad strikes produced without the retaining collar, and strike-through errors caused by debris between the die and the coin. Occasionally, die cracks and die chips also appear, creating raised lines or extra metal in specific areas of the design. These features must be distinguished from damage that occurred after the coin entered circulation, because scratches, dents, filing, or polishing are not mint errors. Professional authentication is often recommended for unusual pieces, as it helps confirm whether a coin's distinctive appearance originated at the mint or resulted from later damage. Value is shaped by several important factors working together rather than by a single feature. A common circulated 1972 clad Eisenhower dollar is often worth only a modest premium over face value, while attractive uncirculated examples generally bring higher prices depending on their preservation. Certified coins with top mint state grades can become much more desirable because such pristine examples are genuinely difficult to locate. The special 40% silver collector issues usually carry additional value due to their composition and collector demand, especially when preserved in excellent condition or accompanied by original mint packaging. Genuine mint errors and recognized varieties may also command premiums, but their value depends on rarity, visibility, overall condition, and market demand at the time of sale. Experienced collectors study all of these factors carefully before assigning a realistic value to any individual coin. More than 50 years after its release, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar continues to hold a unique place in American numismatics. It represents the return of the large circulating dollar, honors one of the nation's most respected military leaders and presidents, and celebrates the spirit of exploration reflected in the Apollo-inspired reverse design. Whether discovered in an inherited collection, a long-forgotten bank box, or an old family keepsake, every example offers an opportunity to learn more about American history and modern coin collecting. While most pieces are not rare, exceptional condition, authentic mint errors, certified high grades, and special silver editions ensure that the series remains exciting for collectors. For many enthusiasts, the greatest reward is not simply finding a valuable coin, but recognizing the historical significance and craftsmanship that transformed an everyday dollar into a lasting symbol of an important era in the United States. Every experienced collector knows that patience often reveals details invisible at first glance. When examining a 1972 Eisenhower dollar, experts use proper lighting and magnification to study the coin's surfaces, strike quality, and originality. A strong strike brings out the fine details in Eisenhower's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the lunar landscape on the reverse. Coins with crisp design elements, bright original luster, and minimal contact marks stand out immediately from heavily handled examples. Since large dollar coins were stacked and transporting in bulk, many acquired bag marks before they ever reached circulation. Finding a specimen that escaped these marks is one reason high-grade examples are far scarcer than their large original mintage might suggest. This careful examination transforms an ordinary-looking coin into a fascinating study of craftsmanship and preservation, rewarding collectors who pay close attention to every detail. Professional grading plays a major role in today's collector market because it provides a consistent way to evaluate a coin's condition. Independent grading services examine authenticity, preservation, and overall eye appeal before assigning a numerical grade. Even a small improvement in grade can make a noticeable difference in desirability, especially for modern coins that are difficult to locate in exceptional condition. Collectors value coins that retain their natural surfaces, original mint frost, and undisturbed luster. A coin that has been cleaned, polished, or altered may lose much of its collector appeal because originality is one of the most respected qualities in numismatics. For this reason, many collectors prefer an untouched coin with honest age over one that appears artificially bright. Another fascinating aspect of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar is the story behind the dies that produced it. Coining dies gradually wear as thousands of coins are struck, and this natural process can create subtle differences between early and late strikes. Fresh dies often produce sharper details and stronger luster, while worn dies may leave softer design elements and less defined features. Collectors sometimes study these differences to better understand the production life of a particular coin. Although these changes do not automatically create a rare variety, they add another layer of interest for enthusiasts who enjoy learning how coins were manufactured and how the minting process evolved throughout a production run. As interest in modern U.S. coins has grown, the 1972 Eisenhower dollar has earned a respected place in many collections because it combines historical importance with affordability. New collectors often begin with circulated examples before gradually upgrading to attractive uncirculated coins, certified specimens, or the special 40% silver San Francisco issues. Building a complete set becomes an enjoyable challenge, encouraging collectors to compare mint marks, finishes, and preservation. Rather than focusing only on potential value, many enthusiasts appreciate the educational journey that comes from researching the series, understanding its historical context, and learning how to distinguish original coins from altered or damaged examples. Every upgrade adds another chapter to a collection that reflects both American history and the collector's growing knowledge. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar remains a lasting reminder that every coin has a story waiting to be discovered. Its connection to President Dwight D. Eisenhower, its tribute to the Apollo era through the iconic eagle reverse, and its role in reviving the large American dollar all contribute to its enduring appeal. While ordinary circulated examples are common, truly exceptional coins, those with outstanding preservation, genuine mint-made eras, or certified top grades, continue to attract serious attention whenever they appear in the marketplace. For collectors, the excitement comes from separating fact from fiction. Studying each coin carefully and recognizing quality where others may see only an old dollar. That's what makes numismatics such a rewarding hobby. Every coin is an opportunity to uncover history, appreciate craftsmanship, and perhaps discover a collectible that has been overlooked for decades. Imagine walking into an estate sale where dozens of forgotten coin albums sit untouched for years. Among them lies a single 1972 Eisenhower dollar that looks no different from the others at first glance. Yet experienced collectors know the search has only begun. The real excitement starts when the coin is examined under proper light, revealing its original mint luster, crisp lettering, and sharply defined eagle. Many remarkable discoveries have come from ordinary collections simply because previous owners never realized what they had. While most 1972 dollars are common, exceptional preservation can transform a familiar coin into one that commands far greater collector interest. This constant possibility of finding an overlooked gem is one of the reasons the Eisenhower dollar continues to fascinate collectors around the world. One of the most overlooked characteristics of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar is its impressive craftsmanship. The portrait of President Eisenhower displays bold facial detail, while the reverse captures the historic Apollo-inspired eagle descending toward the moon with an olive branch, symbolizing peace after one of humanity's greatest technological achievements. Around the design, the inscriptions United States of America, EPLUBUSUNUM, and $1 complete a composition that blends history, patriotism, and artistic achievement. Every detail reflects the ambition of an era that celebrated both national leadership and space exploration, making this dollar much more than a simple piece of currency. Collectors also understand the importance of proper storage. A coin that remains untouched for decades inside a protective holder often retains its original appearance far better than one left loose in a drawer or pocket. Fingerprints, moisture, harsh cleaning, and improper handling can permanently affect a coin's surfaces. That is why experienced numismatists handle valuable coins carefully by their edges and store them in archival quality holders. Preserving originality is one of the best ways to maintain collector appeal over time. An untouched coin with natural surfaces is generally more desirable than one that has been polished or altered, even if the polished coin appears shinier at first glance. The collector market for the 1972 Eisenhower dollar continues to evolve as new enthusiasts enter the hobby and longtime collections come back onto the market. Certified high-grade examples remain especially competitive because they represent a small percentage of the original production. Genuine mint-made errors, when authenticated, also attract strong interest because each error reflects a unique moment during the manufacturing process. Whether it's an off-center strike, a clipped planchet, a broad strike, or another verified mint error, collectors value these pieces for their rarity and the insight they provide into how coins are made. Knowledge, careful observation, and patience remain the most valuable tools when evaluating any Eisenhower dollar. As our journey through the 1972 Eisenhower dollar comes to a close, one message stands above all else. Every coin deserves a closer look before it is dismissed as ordinary. While not every example is rare or highly valuable, history has shown that exceptional condition, authentic mint errors, certified grades, and special collector issues can set certain coins apart. The thrill of numismatics comes from learning, researching, and appreciating the remarkable stories hidden inside these small pieces of American history. If you enjoyed discovering the fascinating world of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more rare coin discoveries, collector news, market updates, and hidden treasures. The next extraordinary coin could already be waiting in your collection, and you won't want to miss the next coin alert. Coin number 3. Every great coin collection has one piece that sparks endless curiosity, and for many collectors, the 1974 Eisenhower $1 is exactly that coin. At first glance, it looks like a large American dollar with a familiar portrait and an eagle on the reverse, yet beneath its bold appearance lies a fascinating story of history, craftsmanship, and collector interest. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar represents an era when the United States was still producing large dollar coins for circulation, carrying forward a design that honored President Dwight D. Eisenhower while celebrating America's achievements in space exploration. Millions of these coins were struck, but not every example is equal. Some survive in extraordinary condition, some were struck in special collector formats, and a small number left the mint with genuine production errors that make them especially appealing to numismatists. That combination of history, condition, and rarity is what keeps this coin in the spotlight year after year. The Eisenhower dollar series began in 1971 to honor Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and the 34th President of the United States. By 1974, the series had become well established, continuing the same classic design before the Bicentennial redesign arrived for the following issues. The obverse features Eisenhower's portrait with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1974. On the reverse, a powerful eagle descends toward the moon while carrying an olive branch, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia. Earth appears in the distance, symbolizing both peace and one of humanity's greatest achievements in exploration. This combination of presidential tribute and space-age symbolism makes the 1974 Eisenhower dollar one of the most historically meaningful coins of its era. one of the first things experienced collectors examine is the mint mark. Coins without a mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Those with a D came from Denver, and coins carrying an S were produced at the San Francisco Mint. Most Philadelphia and Denver coins were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition for circulation, while San Francisco also produced special collector editions in 40% silver. These silver issues were sold directly to collectors and were not intended for everyday use. Identifying the mint, composition, and finish is an essential step because two coins with the same date can have very different levels of collector demand depending on where and how they were produced. When discussing value, the most important lesson is that condition often determines desirability. A heavily circulated 1974 Eisenhower dollar may be worth only a modest premium over its face value, while an example that still displays brilliant original mint luster, crisp details, and very few contact marks can attract much stronger collector interest. Large dollar coins were easily scratched during storage and transportation, making truly high-grade examples more difficult to find than many people expect. Collectors carefully inspect the coin's surfaces, strike quality, eye appeal, and originality before deciding whether it deserves professional grading. A certified mint state specimen can be far more desirable than a worn example, even though both share the same date and design. The possibility of discovering a genuine mint-made era adds another layer of excitement to the 1974 Eisenhower dollar. Although quality control at the United States Mint removed most defective coins, a small number entered circulation with authentic production mistakes. Collectors search for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-through errors, die cracks, die chips, and other verified mint-made varieties that occurred during the manufacturing process. These errors are very different from scratches, dents, or damage that happened after the coin left the mint. Learning to recognize the difference is one of the most valuable skills in numismatics. Every verified mint era tells a unique story about the coin's creation, making it not only a collectible, but also a fascinating record of the minting process itself. As collectors spend more time studying the 1974 Eisenhower dollar, they soon realize that this coin rewards careful observation. Two coins with the same date may appear nearly identical at first, yet one might have a noticeably sharper strike, richer mint luster, and cleaner surfaces than the other. Those qualities can make a significant difference in collector demand. Because these large dollars were stored in bags and transporting in bulk, many picked up contact marks before they even reached circulation. Coins that escaped this heavy handling are much harder to find today, especially in outstanding mint state condition. That is why experienced collectors examine every detail under proper lighting instead of judging a coin by its date alone. Another important part of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar story is the special collector editions produced at the San Francisco Mint. Alongside the regular circulation coins, San Francisco struck 40% silver uncirculated and proof versions specifically for collectors. These coins were sold in official U.S. mint packaging and were never intended for everyday commerce. The silver composition, combined with the mirror-like proof finish or carefully preserved uncirculated surfaces, gives these editions a unique appeal. If the original mint packaging is still present and the coin remains in excellent condition, collectors often value the complete package more highly than a loose example because it preserves the coin's original presentation and history. When unusual-looking 1974 Eisenhower dollars appear, authentication becomes extremely important. Not every odd feature is a genuine mint era. A real off-center strike, clipped planchet, broad strike, strike-through, or die crack was created during the minting process, while scratches, filed edges, hammer marks, heat damage, and polishing occurred after the coin left the mint. Experienced collectors often rely on professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC to verify authenticity and identify recognized mint-made errors. Certification also provides a standardized grade, giving buyers and sellers greater confidence when evaluating a coin's collector appeal. The market value of a 1974 Eisenhower dollar depends on several factors working together rather than on a single characteristic. Mint mark, composition, condition, originality, and any verified mint era all influence collector demand. Most circulated copper-nickel examples remain common and typically trade for modest premiums, while exceptional mint state coins and certified silver collector issues can bring considerably stronger prices because they are more difficult to locate in superior preservation. Genuine mint errors may also command premiums, but their value depends on how dramatic the error is, how well it is preserved, and how desirable that particular error type is among collectors at the time of sale. This is why two coins with the same date can have very different market values. More than 5 decades after its release, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar continues to earn respect from collectors because it represents an important chapter in modern American coinage. It honors a distinguished president, reflects the excitement of the Apollo era through its eagle and moon reverse, and reminds collectors of the final years before the famous Bicentennial redesign changed the series. Whether discovered in a family collection, an estate, or an old coin album, each 1974 Eisenhower dollar offers an opportunity to study history, craftsmanship, and the fascinating process of coin production. While not every example is rare, exceptional preservation, verified mint errors, certified high grades, and special silver collector editions ensure that this classic dollar remains a rewarding coin to collect and an enduring favorite among numismatists around the world. Hidden behind the bold design of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is a level of craftsmanship that many people overlook. Under magnification, the portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower reveals finely engraved hair details, a well-defined profile, and carefully balanced lettering surrounding the design. On the reverse, the eagle appears strong and determined as it descends toward the lunar surface with an olive branch, while the distant Earth reminds collectors of the remarkable achievements of the Apollo era. Coins displaying sharp details across both sides are especially attractive because a strong strike enhances the overall appearance. Collectors often compare multiple examples side by side, searching for the combination of crisp design, original luster, and attractive eye appeal that separates an exceptional coin from an average one. One of the most rewarding aspects of collecting the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is learning how to recognize originality. Natural mint luster has a distinctive appearance that reflects light as the coin is tilted, creating a vibrant effect prized by collectors. Over the years, some coins have been cleaned or polished in an attempt to improve their appearance, but these alterations usually reduce collector interest because they remove the original surface. Experienced numismatists prefer coins that show honest preservation rather than artificial brightness. Even light hairline scratches left by improper cleaning can influence a coin's desirability, making careful examination an essential part of evaluating any Eisenhower dollar. As the dies used to strike coins gradually wore with continued production, subtle changes sometimes appeared in the quality of the strike. Fresh dies generally produced sharper details and stronger definition, while worn dies could create softer lettering or less distinct design elements. These differences are a normal part of the minting process and provide collectors with another fascinating way to study how coins were manufactured. Although ordinary die wear does not automatically create a rare variety, understanding these production characteristics helps collectors appreciate the complexity of modern coinage and recognize the difference between expected manufacturing changes and unusual mint-made errors. Another reason the 1974 Eisenhower dollar remains popular is its accessibility. New collectors can usually obtain circulated examples without great difficulty, allowing them to begin exploring the series while learning about grading, mint marks, and preservation. As their knowledge grows, many choose to upgrade their collections by searching for higher-grade coins, certified specimens, proof issues, or the 40% silver San Francisco editions. This gradual journey from beginner to advanced collector makes the Eisenhower dollar series both educational and rewarding. Every upgrade reflects improved knowledge, sharper observation skills, and a deeper appreciation for the history behind these impressive American dollars. The enduring appeal of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar comes from more than its potential value. It serves as a reminder of a period when the United States honored one of its most respected presidents while celebrating the spirit of exploration that defined an era. Although ordinary circulated examples remain common, Coins with exceptional preservation, verified mint-made errors, certified high grades, or special silver composition continue to attract strong collector interest. Every coin invites careful study, and every discovery adds another piece to the larger story of American numismatics. For dedicated collectors, the greatest reward is not simply finding a valuable coin, but understanding the history, artistry, and craftsmanship that make the 1974 Eisenhower dollar an enduring classic. Picture opening a small box that has been tucked away for decades in a family home. Inside are a handful of old American coins, and among them sits a large 1974 Eisenhower dollar with its unmistakable eagle reverse. To someone unfamiliar with coin collecting, it may seem like nothing more than an old dollar. To a knowledgeable collector, however, it is the beginning of an investigation. Every surface is examined for original mint luster, every letter is checked for sharpness, and every edge is inspected for signs of an authentic mint-made era. The excitement comes from knowing that careful observation, not guesswork, is what separates an ordinary coin from one with genuine collector appeal. Sometimes the most interesting discoveries are found where no one expected them, simply because someone took the time to look closely. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar also reminds collectors that rarity is not always determined by the number of coins originally struck. Many examples entered circulation and experienced years of everyday use, leaving them with worn details, scratches, and countless contact marks. As time passed, truly well-preserved pieces became much less common. A coin that still displays vibrant original luster, strong eye appeal, and minimal marks can stand out immediately among ordinary circulated examples. This is why collectors often focus on quality rather than quantity. A beautifully preserved specimen can generate far more interest than dozens of average coins, proving that condition is one of the most important factors in modern numismatics. Every genuine mint era tells the story of a brief moment during production when something unexpected occurred inside the coining press. A clipped planchet begins before striking, when a blank is cut incorrectly from the metal strip. An off-center strike occurs when the blank is not perfectly aligned beneath the dies. A broad strike results when the retaining collar fails to confine the metal during striking, while a strike-through is created when foreign material briefly comes between the die and the coin. These authentic mint-made errors are studied because they provide insight into the manufacturing process itself. Collectors value them not only for their scarcity, but also because each one represents a unique event that happened at the mint before the coin ever reached the public. As collector interest in modern American coins continues to grow, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar remains a respected part of many collections. Professional grading and authentication have made it easier for collectors to evaluate originality and compare coins using consistent standards. Certified examples often inspire greater confidence because their authenticity and condition have been independently verified. Whether a collector is searching for a high-grade circulation strike, a beautifully preserved silver San Francisco issue, or an authenticated mint era, careful research and patience remain the keys to making informed collecting decisions. The more knowledge a collector gains, the easier it becomes to recognize quality and appreciate the craftsmanship behind each coin. The story of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is ultimately a story of history, artistry, and careful collecting. It honors a remarkable American leader, celebrates the spirit of exploration reflected in the Apollo-inspired eagle design, and represents one of the final regular issues before the famous Bicentennial redesign changed the series. While most examples remain affordable and common, the finest preserved coins, authentic mint eras, certified high-grade specimens, and special silver collector editions continue to attract enthusiastic attention. That enduring interest proves that the true value of a coin lies not only in its price, but also in the history it preserves and the excitement it creates for every collector who studies it. If you enjoyed uncovering the remarkable story behind the 1974 Eisenhower dollar, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, collector updates, and the latest coin news, because your next great find could already be waiting in your collection.